The grey skies overhead matched the sombre mood as Harry, Daniels and Thompson arrived back at the small, cluttered house where the mother of the kidnapped girl lived. The neighbourhood had an air of quiet desperation, its streets lined with modest homes and overgrown hedges. The house seemed almost too small to contain the weight of the tragedy that had struck it. The front door creaked open as they approached, and the mother, a tired-looking woman in her late 30s, welcomed them inside with a mixture of hope and exhaustion etched on her face. Her eyes, red-rimmed from sleepless nights and tears, showed no signs of the comfort or reassurance they had hoped to bring. "Thank you for coming back," the mother said softly as she led them into a small living room, cluttered with family photos and half-packed boxes. "I just want my daughter back. I don't know what else to do." Harry gave her a reassuring nod as they settled into the threadbare armchairs. "We're doing everything we can to find her," he said gently. "We just need to ask a few more questions to make sure we haven't missed anything." The mother nodded, sitting on the edge of the couch, as if bracing herself for more bad news. "Ask away. I'll answer whatever I can." "All right," Daniel said, pulling out his notebook. "We need to know more about your daughter's life. Was she involved with anyone recently? Any friends or acquaintances who might have had issues with her?" The mother's face tightened as she thought. "Well, she's been having trouble at school, mostly bullying, but nothing that seemed serious. And she recently started seeing a boy. I don't know much about him, but I don't think he's a bad influence." Harry noted the information down, his mind already turning over the possibilities. "Do you know if there were any recent arguments or incidents at home, perhaps with her father or anyone else?" The mother hesitated, her eyes flickering with a hint of something unresolved. "Her father? He left a few years ago. We had some issues, and he hasn't been around much since. There were a couple of restraining orders, but they were more about keeping him away from me than from her. I don't think he'd be involved in this." Thompson, who had been quietly observing, excused himself and headed outside to search the surrounding area again. His footsteps crunched on the gravel path as he walked away, his brow furrowed in concentration. He had been hoping for anything that might offer a new lead, but so far the search had yielded nothing. As Thompson methodically combed through the yard and the nearby alleyways, Harry and Daniels continued their questioning inside. They focused on other potential clues, recent changes in routine, strange occurrences, or anything that might help them piece together the puzzle. The mother continued to answer their questions, her voice trembling as she spoke of her daughter's hopes and dreams, her friends, and the mundane details of everyday life. Each answer seemed to lead to more questions, but none provided the breakthrough they needed. After an hour of questioning, Harry felt the weight of frustration pressing down on him. Despite their efforts, they had yet to find a concrete lead to explain the mysterious disappearance. As they wrapped up their interview, Harry could see the toll it took on the mother, who looked more exhausted every minute. "Thank you for your patience," Harry said gently as they prepared to leave. "We'll continue to investigate and keep you updated with any new information." The mother nodded, her eyes filled with gratitude and weariness. "Please, just find her. I don't know what I'll do if we don't find her soon." As Harry and Daniels stepped outside, they saw Thompson returning from his search, his face set in a grim expression. He shook his head, indicating that he had found no new clues. "Anything?" Daniels asked as they regrouped. "Nothing," Thompson replied, his voice tinged with frustration. "The area's clean, no new leads." Harry sighed, feeling the weight of the case bearing down on him. "We'll have to dig deeper. There's something we're missing and we need to find it before it's too late." The urgency of the situation was palpable, driving them to push harder in their investigation. As they drove away from the house, Harry's thoughts raced through the possibilities. They were running out of time, and the pressure was mounting. The case was far from over, but their determination was unwavering. They were committed to uncovering the truth, no matter where it led. Back at the police station, the hum of activity starkly contrasted with the quiet desperation of the morning's investigation. The fluorescent lights flickered overhead as Harry walked through the bustling bullpen, his thoughts still heavy with the unresolved case. He was looking forward to a brief respite that had nothing to do with kidnappings or disappearing robbers. As he rounded the corner to his desk, he spotted Andrew near the reception area, his expression lighting up when he saw Harry. Andrew had just finished a shift at his own job and was waiting for Harry to wrap up for the day. "Hey, love," Andrew greeted, his voice warm and inviting. "How'd it go?" Harry managed a tired smile as he approached. "It was a long day. We're still working on finding the girl, but nothing new for now." Andrew's face showed concern, but it quickly shifted to curiosity. "That sounds rough, but you mentioned you had some news." Harry nodded, reaching into his jacket pocket and pulling out his phone. "Yeah, actually. I wanted to let you know that Charlie invited us to lunch at the Burrow this Sunday. His mum's been asking about you." Andrew's eyes widened with surprise and delight. "Really? That's great! I've been dying to meet them. What's the occasion?" Harry chuckled at Andrew's enthusiasm. "It's just a lunch. Charlie's mum wants to catch up and meet you properly. I think she's been curious about the guy I've spent so much time with." Andrew grinned from ear to ear, his excitement palpable. "I can't believe this. I mean, meeting your family, well, sort of, sounds amazing. I was worried about how things would go with them." Harry could see Andrew's genuine happiness, and it warmed his heart. "I think it'll be good. Charlie's promised to keep things low-key, so it shouldn't be too overwhelming." Andrew's eyes sparkled with excitement. "I'm looking forward to it. I've been imagining what it would be like to meet them, and now it's happening. Do you think they'll like me?" Harry took Andrew's hand, giving it a reassuring squeeze. "They'll like you just fine, and don't worry about making a good impression. They're great people." Andrew beamed, squeezing Harry's hand back. "Thanks for the reassurance, and for inviting me to this lunch. I'm really looking forward to it." Harry smiled, feeling a surge of relief at Andrew's positive reaction. It was a welcome distraction from the stress of work and the ongoing investigation. "I'm glad you're excited. It should be a nice break from everything. Just try not to be too nervous. They're friendly." Andrew chuckled softly. "I'll do my best. Just promise me you'll be there to help me through it." "Absolutely," Harry replied with a grin. "We'll be in this together." As they chatted, Harry felt a weight lift off his shoulders. The prospect of spending a relaxing day with Andrew at the Burrow amidst the usual chaos of his work was a comforting thought. It was a chance to enjoy a bit of normalcy and focus on the positives, even for a day. Andrew gave him a quick kiss on the cheek before they left the station together, his mood buoyant. Despite the challenges, the idea of introducing him to Harry's adoptive family now seemed like an exciting adventure, rather than a daunting task. As the late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the streets, Harry drove towards the zoo, his mind occupied with the weight of the unresolved cases and the pressure that seemed to grow heavier by the day. He had decided to stop by and visit Charlie before heading home, hoping for a brief moment of reprieve from the chaos that had consumed him. Harry parked his car near the zoo entrance, and the familiar sight of the large gates brought comfort. As he made his way towards the reptile house, he saw Charlie coming out, his face lighting up when he spotted Harry. "Hey, Harry," Charlie greeted, his tone cheerful despite the busy day. "What brings you here?" Harry offered a weary smile, his usual confidence dampened by the stress of recent events. "Hey, Charlie, I just needed to talk. Would you mind if we had a chat?" Charlie nodded, his concern evident. "Of course. Let's head inside. It's quieter here, and we can talk without interruptions." They walked into the reptile house, the calm, dimly lit environment providing a welcome escape from the bright afternoon sun. The quiet ambience seemed to soothe Harry's frazzled nerves as they settled on a bench near the snake enclosures. Charlie turned to Harry, his expression attentive. "So, what's on your mind?" Harry let out a deep sigh, running a hand through his hair. "Everything's just overwhelming. The cases include pressure from work and the feeling of not progressing. I just feel so helpless sometimes." Charlie listened intently, his face showing empathy. "It sounds like you've been carrying much weight on your shoulders." "Yeah," Harry admitted, his voice tinged with frustration. "I've been trying to stay focused, but it's hard. I look at you, and you always seem so positive, so genuinely happy. I don't know how you do it." Charlie's eyes softened as he considered Harry's words. He leaned back slightly, his gaze thoughtful. "You know, Harry, it's not always easy. I have my own struggles and pressures, but I think a big part is having people who matter to me, like you." Harry looked up, puzzled. "Me?" Charlie nodded, his smile gentle and sincere. "Yes, you. Just having you around, knowing that I have someone I care about and who cares about me, makes everything a bit easier to handle. You bring joy and grounding that helps me get through the tough times." Harry was taken aback by Charlie's response, but his heart was warmed by the unexpected affirmation. "I didn't realize I had that kind of impact." Charlie shook his head, chuckling softly. "You do. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in our struggles that we forget how much we can mean to others. Being here for each other, even in small ways, makes a big difference." Harry's expression softened as he absorbed Charlie's words. The warmth in Charlie's eyes and the genuine care in his voice reminded him of the support he had, even amidst the stress and challenges. "Thanks, Charlie. That really means a lot." Charlie's smile grew, and he gave Harry a reassuring pat. "Any time, Harry. And remember, it's okay to lean on others when you need to." As the conversation continued, Harry felt a renewed sense of relief. Charlie's support and perspective provided a much-needed break from the mounting pressure. The reassurance that someone cared and believed in him was a powerful reminder that he wasn't alone in his struggles. When they finally stood up to leave, Charlie hesitated for a moment before speaking. "Actually, if you don't mind, could you drop me off at my flat? It's not too far from here, and I'd appreciate the company." Harry glanced at Charlie, surprised but willing. "Sure, no problem. I'm heading home anyway, so it's no trouble." Charlie smiled gratefully. "Thanks. I've meant to catch up with you, which gives us a bit more time to talk." They walked to Harry's car, and the conversation flowed easily as they drove towards Charlie's flat. Charlie's presence was a comforting reminder of the support he had amid his challenges. They continued to discuss their thoughts and feelings, the drive providing a chance for both of them to unwind and enjoy each other's company. When they arrived at Charlie's flat, Harry parked the car and turned to Charlie. "Here we are. I hope the drive wasn't too much of a detour." Charlie shook his head, his smile warm. "Not at all. Thanks for the ride and for being here, Harry. It really helped." Harry nodded, feeling a sense of contentment. "Any time, Charlie. I'll catch you later." As Charlie headed inside, Harry drove off towards his home, the day's burdens feeling slightly lighter. The brief respite and the connection with Charlie had been a valuable reminder of the importance of support and friendship in facing life's challenges.